As aforementioned, the 1700s was the era of the bucket brigade, when every man, woman, and child had an obligation to participate in its community welfare. By the mid-1800s, the use of larger and more powerful fire equipment required training and commitment from its citizens, thus forging a brotherhood dedicated to community service and ushering in the romantic age of firefighting. Firehouses initially were nothing more than sheds to house the equipment. But as the apparatus grew and ranks of firefighters grew, so did the necessity for larger meeting spaces. Firehouses of the 1800s became community meeting places, and they were often built and decorated with funds from a wealthy patron, or even the firefighters themselves. Many firehouses of the time period had extravagant interiors and exteriors. It was a competition among fire companies as to who had the grandest space, and companies would often host visitors from around the region to proudly show off their station. Many firehouses were multi-floored, especially in city settings. Often, the first floor was used to house the apparatus, as well as stable the horses, which pulled the apparatus. With this in mind, you might expect the first floor to be very utilitarian. Instead, the main floor was often outfitted in rich hardwoods such as inlaid cherry and oak, as this area doubled as the dining room for community dinners, or the dance floor for fancy balls and celebrations. The upper floors, which were restricted to fire company members only, consisted of common gathering rooms for the firefighters. This is where they would relax, enjoy a beverage, or a game of cards, or checkers, and exchange stories. These rooms were often furnished with hardwood wainscoting and trims, crown molding, cut glass chandeliers, and richly upholstered furniture. The uppermost floor was reserved as the bunkhouse for the firemen. Bunk rooms were more lavish than you might expect as well, with comfortable beds and seating, generous lighting, and of course, at least one fireman's sliding pole to quickly allow men to move from upper to lower floors. Cast iron stoves kept the rooms warm and comfortable throughout the firehouse. And let's not forget the ceiling. Even the ceilings of the firehouses of this era would be decorative wood or pressed tin. No expense was spared to make the firehouse, which served as a point of public pride, a showplace in the community.